So as far as the y-axis is concerned, this could be the final assembly here. I think I can do everything. So what I've done, I've got some heavy gear oil and I put all in the inside of here and coated where I've taken material out of the cast iron, because I'm going to be using, sometimes I'm going to be using mist coolant and other times I'm going to be using flood coolant, which is water based, and I don't want to get all this rusty in here. And there is a possibility that coolant combined with water could find its way into here from the other side. So I'm putting heavy gear oil actually in here on all the surfaces that that I've machined out, so it doesn't go rusty. Alright, so let's put this together. No reason why it shouldn't go perfectly together now. Come on. Probably should have put this end plate on afterwards, but I think I can reach through like this. Yes, I can. I can actually get my fingers there. I can do it quite alright. Probably would have been easier with it that on. Never mind. All fits together like a glove. Fairly old saying. Let's now, come on. Actually, easier over the top. Like that. Oh yeah, it's fairly easy. No, don't do it tight yet. I want to do it all up firm, well, to probably finishing tightness, because I just want to make sure nothing binds. Come on. Okay. Perfect. Well. Okay, just so you can have a little look there. that's where we are so far. Both the NEMA 34s go on there. I mean, I've tried it already just on this piece of the plate. No problem at all. But now I've got to put the coupling on in between here, which I'm not ready to do that yet. But my next job now is to get the saddle back on and measure up so I can make the part. Actually, this is the old one. They went on the underside of there along with this spacer. So I'm going to be measuring up now from the underside of here to well, the center of this shaft, to find out exactly what the measurements are and where I have to bore the hole for this to go into, and in, you know, the relationship between the center of this shaft and the underside of here to make something that looks similar to this. I don't think there's any need to have this cut in so far here. It's not going to catch anywhere there. So that's what I'm doing next. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I've just popped the NEMA 34 on there just to have a look, make sure everything lines up as it should, and it does. And I can't put the coupling on because I have to bore the coupling out to the right size, which is no problem at all. I'm thinking actually I might actually do a separate video on that altogether, boring the center of the couplings out. I'm considering using the CNC lathe for that. So we'll have to see what sort of time I got. So there we are. And I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to note in the comments, oh, doesn't really fit there. Actually, what I did was I wanted 100 millimeters, but I left it a little bit wider. It's actually 102 millimeters. So I split the difference, and I've got a millimeter this side and a millimeter that side on these plates. I wasn't sure whether I was going to elongate the holes slightly. I was unsure of the tolerance here, whether I could, you know, sort of get in there. I was going to give myself an extra millimeter, but I didn't require it. So there you go. And the primary reason was I wanted quite a bit of meat here for when the head is down in there. You know, there was only a millimeter of room, so I wanted to give myself a little bit more meat. So that's what I did. And look, it's okay. When you build yours, if you use my drawings, just take that millimeter off. When this is all finished and you know, done, I am going to make top covers for all axes, and I'll probably put, you know, a little motif on it, or, you know, sort of a Y in this case, you know, with plus and minus and some arrows on it. I don't know, decorate it up a little bit to go on the top. Probably leave the underside open, so it's easy for me to get something on it. Okay, so I think we're going to bring this video to a close. Otherwise it's going to just go on, and you're going to have an hours long video, which I know a lot of you don't like. So I try to keep them around about the 20 minutes, or somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. Okay, so we're there. We've got this on. I've proven that yes, you can get this out through the back. So we'll call this the Aussie Outback design for a CNC. So there you are. I mean, holes already there. I'm just got to make it a bit bigger to, you know, get this bearing and, you know, drill a hole through the intermediate side here to be able to get the screw in. And it's a lot better to have it at the back than what it is have it stuck out the front, I have found. A little bit like a Tormac 1100. Okay then, so if you like what you're seeing so far, come and see my other videos, and please like and subscribe and tell your friends. If you like and subscribe, what it does, it encourages the algorithm to, you know, sort of plug it a bit more, and that way I get more views. And you know, it's the views that, you know, sort of help things to happen. And but more than that, if you like what I'm doing, consider becoming a patron to the channel, because it's the patrons behind the channel that allow me to do things like this for you. So until the next video, where we are going to machine the connection that I was just explaining between the ball nut for the y-axis and the saddle. So I should be able to machine all that and mount it, fit it, and get that part of it working. I am expecting to shim it a little, you know, sort of probably, I don't know, could be as much as 10 thou. Because there's a little play in this bearing. There has to be a little amount of play, movement then. Judging by what I've measured and me manually by eye trying to take the play out and sort of get in a happy medium, it should be okay. But there, you know, I'm sort of allowing a little bit of clearance as well, but I might have to sort of shim that out a little bit. But anyway, we shall see. Okay then, so till the next video, bye for now.